today. If your business would like to partner with us as an advertiser or with a local sports promotion, then give us a call at 850-262-6000 or shoot us an email from the advertise page on ESPNpensacola.com.
All sports, all the time. ESPN Pensacola, 94.5 WYCT Pensacola.
From local to national, they've got you covered. Every team, every sport, every game. Sports Call with Jordan and Davis starts now on ESPN Pensacola 94.5.
ESPN Pensacola 94.5, also on your HD radio at HD2 98.7 WYCT and streaming on our website at ESPNpensacola.com. Welcome into Sports Call with Jordan and Davis. Davis not in studio today. He is not going to be joining us. He is out of town with family, so it's just going to be myself and Justin hanging out with you this afternoon up until 1 o'clock, and got a lot to talk about. We're obviously going to be talking about Doug Baldwin Jr. being released from the Seahawks. Le'Veon Bell kind of wanting to have things his own way, and we're going to be talking about it. He's in the NFL, not Burger King. He can't have it his way. Odell Beckham Jr. running his mouth, making some comments, nothing out of the ordinary there. And so much more coming up on today's show. So let's just go ahead and get right into it. Like we said a moment ago, Doug Baldwin released by the Seattle Seahawks. This was something that caught me by surprise, to be honest with you, because I wasn't expecting this. I was expecting them to kind of just let him announce his retirement. But, yesterday on Talk Football, we were talking about this with Coach K, and one of the things that he mentioned, and I thought it was a great idea, one of the things he mentioned was that this is more than likely them cutting him so he's able to get the money that's remaining on his contract. Because if he just retires and he goes on about his way and calls it a career, he doesn't get that money. And that's like $9, $10 to $11 million, somewhere within that time frame, amount-wise. So that's a lot of money that he would be getting. So I think that, if that is the case and that's what they're doing here, that's smart by the Seattle Seahawks to be able to basically cut him from the team so he can get his money that's owed still on his contract, then re-sign him in order for him to retire as a Seahawk.
Yeah, so they're really doing him a favor, and of course you saw that they posted it on their page. They wish him good luck in his future endeavors. They're by no means doing this because he can't play anymore or anything like that. They're just helping him out, and then they're going to re-sign him so he can retire as a Seahawk.
Yeah, and I think that's a great thing to do for a guy like Doug Baldwin. I mean, this is a guy that he's definitely a lock for the Seattle Ring of Honor there, and you've got to think in the near future he's going to be the 12th man at the game, raising the flag, standing there, powering up the crowd. Probably this year.
Oh yeah,
probably this year.
We'll see him next year doing it. I'm almost positive you'll see him next year doing it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely, and probably a couple of times as well. So Doug Baldwin Jr. released by the Seahawks, not necessarily a bad thing there. I think they're just kind of doing that again so he can get his money and go into retirement, still getting his what's left on his contract. Let's move now to Le'Veon Bell, because this is something I want to talk about. Because Le'Veon Bell, my goodness, this guy, obviously the whole situation with Pittsburgh, now he's with the Jets, and we're thinking, okay, we put Pittsburgh behind us, let's just move forward, let's see him play football with the Jets. But see, now it's a situation to where he is actually getting his own type of workouts. He's basically kind of getting anything and everything he wants with the New York Jets. The Jets have okayed for him to work out privately at his home rather than working out with the team. And here's several different concerns I have with this, but the biggest one is this is a guy that months ago during the regular season last year was one of the guys spearheading the complaints about how Ben Roethlisberger was getting preferential treatment by the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah.
Now he's getting the same type of treatment by the New York Jets, and it's perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine. It's part of his contract. That's hypocritical is what it is.
Well, he's the big name in town now, and that's why. I mean,
yeah,
but see, here's the thing too. No program would ever do this.
Right.
You can go play for any team. I don't agree with it because you can't always trust your players, especially a guy like this who just wants to do whatever he wants. You can't trust he's going to actually do the workouts that he needs to do that you want him doing to make sure he's in good shape for games.
No, and that's another point that I was going to say. There's no way of knowing that he is actually going to be able to be keeping up with what he needs to be doing, because when you're in the team facility, you've got a strength and conditioning coach, you've got a strength and conditioning team that's keeping an eye on you. They're making sure you're getting done what you're getting done, even at the professional level. So that's another factor here that you really have to take into account with this, is that he could be taking it off, taking it easy, and that could affect the Jets, because the Jets, as you said, he's the new guy in town. Not only is he the new guy in town and the big name in town, but he is getting a big-time paycheck from the New York Jets, and if he's not preparing properly, they're wasting their money.
Yeah, exactly. They're wasting their money if he's not preparing properly. And Le'Veon Bell, he's just the type of guy I don't trust to do the proper workouts. You saw what he did last year. He didn't show up. He didn't show up to play the entire season.
Yeah.
Why would you trust that guy? You shouldn't.
And that's a great point. That is the second concern I have. The third concern I have over this situation, you're coming off of a situation in Pittsburgh where he and other players from the Steelers were complaining about preferential treatment for certain players. Now you're going to have that same aspect in the locker room in New York with the Jets. That is a first-year head coach. That is a team that's trying to rebuild and get back to being a team that makes the postseason, like they were when Rex Ryan was there as the head coach, Mark Sanchez as the quarterback, and they were making it to the AFC playoffs every year. They're trying to get back to that. They're trying to at least be a decent football team inside the NFL. They don't need distractions like that, and that's exactly what this is going to cause. With Le'Veon Bell having his own private workouts, it's just going to have younger players going, well, if he doesn't have to come in for a workout, why do I?
Exactly. And look at he acts like he can be like some LeBron James
Yeah.
just because it's a new coach. It doesn't matter. You're no LeBron James of football. Nowhere near it.
Mhm.
You still have a lot to prove to be that guy. And football's a whole different sport than basketball. You can't be that type of guy. You have to be there. Because here's another point. You need to be doing the workouts with your team because it helps you bond. It helps you get better chemistry. And when you're not doing that, it hurts the team. And it probably hurts them to trust you because you're doing that to them.
Yeah, and it's one thing to have a trainer handing the ball off to you as you're running drills and things like that.
Yes.
But it's a completely different thing to have Sam Darnold doing it. Who's going to be the quarterback that's handing the ball off to you in a regular season game? So if we see some mismanaged handoffs there, don't let that surprise you throughout the regular season for the Jets. But this is just going to be this is a nightmare waiting to happen. This is a powder keg, a stack of TNT with a dynamite, and it's getting ready to be a bad situation with the Jets because of this. And look, I think that there were a reason why not many teams were clamoring over Le'Veon Bell. I think a lot of people thought there might be, but in the end there really wasn't. And it's because of stuff like this. It's because the guy's a diva. He's a prima donna diva, and he's showing it now by demanding and basically getting what he wants with these private workouts for the New York Jets. And it's going to be one of those things that, again, for me, this is going to do nothing but cause trouble, and the Jets, that's the last thing they need right now.
Oh, my gosh.
All right, let's move now to Odell Beckham Jr., because this is a team that is on the rise with Cleveland.
They're on a big rise.
Not on a big rise, but they are on the way up.
Yeah, I'm happy to see what they've done, who they've gotten this offseason. I expect success. I expect to make the playoffs. But this remark here, saying that you're going to be the new Patriots of the NFL within 5 years, no.
Yeah.
Because there's so much more that you need to be the New England Patriots. The New England Patriots have some of the best coaching, that's some of the best play calling that you'll have in the NFL. It's so hard to be that franchise. They've been this team for, 18, 19 years now?
Mm-hmm.
They've been that team. You can't say, within the next 5 years, we're going to be the new England Patriots. No.
No, you can't say that. It's unrealistic, and I agree with you on that, Justin. I think if you look at Odell Beckham Jr., the Cleveland Browns, they are still a ways off from being a decent team and a competitive team inside the NFL. They still need to get a few players in there. Just because they bring in Odell Beckham Jr., just because they have Jarvis Landry, just because they have Baker Mayfield, just because they draft Greedy Williams, who made some comments of his own, which is a part of what we're going to be talking about here today. Just because you have those guys now does not automatically make you a good team. Oh. Now, Odell Beckham Jr. came out and he tried to kind of put a Band-Aid over this on Instagram and said, look, guys, I made the statement, but basically what I was saying was I'm always going to be striving to be the best. Right now, the New England Patriots are the best, so I'm striving to be them. There's a difference between striving to be really good and striving to be the best and coming out flat out saying we're going to be the new NFL franchise that everybody is looking up to. Like, there's a difference there. And before they can become the better New England or become as good as New England, they need to become a better Cleveland first, and that's what he needs to be focused on.
And see, here's the thing. the New England Patriots, this is what also is a huge difference between Cleveland and New England.
Yeah.
New England can take players. They don't need players like Odell, Baker.
Right.
They don't need those
They don't need
guys
it, yeah.
because they can win those games without them. Look at the players they've made. They've made Julian Edelman, Chris Hogan, Danny Amendola, Wes Welker. These guys are not 5'11", like they're not fast. They're just they have decent hands, but they still won Super Bowls with them. Cleveland Browns, they don't have the coaching and play calling to be able to do this at all. Like they need these players to be able to be good and win. They need those players.
And I will say this on the aspect of coaching for the Cleveland Browns. Freddie Kitchens came out quick and shut this down. He said, no, we're not going to have that kind of talk. We're not going to be talking like that. Odell Beckham may have said it, but I'm going to have a conversation with him. We're not going to be doing that stuff here in Cleveland. I think Freddie Kitchens knows the job he has ahead of him and knows that stuff like this, stupid crap like this, is just going to affect the team, and it's going to rev up the fan base. The fan base is going to want more from this because of these comments, and when they can't deliver, the fan base is going to get upset, and all of a sudden a season that actually is a win for Cleveland is actually going to be seen as a loss because the fans want to be the next New England Patriots.
It's kind of like the Philadelphia Phillies with Bryce Harper.
Yeah.
Like if he goes 0 for 4, so they're booing him off the field, pretty much. And that's the thing. You can't be saying these things just because. And I respect Freddie Kitchens a lot for it because, unlike New York Jets, where they're not really controlling Le'Veon Bell right now, and the Pittsburgh Steelers, where they weren't really controlling Antonio Brown very well. Freddie Kitchens, he came out and said no. He shut that down real quick, and I'm impressed by it because Odell Beckham's a big figure to say that to. He's a player and you're his coach. It's still a big player to say that to because New York Giants, they didn't. Whenever he talked, they didn't try to stop him at all. They just let him go on.
I mean, if you look at any of the antics he pulled on the sideline with the Giants, they let him do it. They were like, "Oh, it's just Odell being Odell." Yeah. No, that's bad behavior for the team. Kicking a kicking net, then proposing to it. Look, I get the proposing to it was meant to be a joke because the week before he had a little fight with it where he kicked it and threw it around on the sideline. But still, that's behavior you don't need on the sideline. That's a professional environment. You're a professional athlete. You're playing a game, yes, but you're a professional athlete. Act professional on the field. Don't propose to a kicking net. Don't say it's just Odell being Odell. I agree with you. I applaud Freddie Kitchens for doing that.
And this is the guy who says that he wants to be New England Patriots.
Yeah.
You don't see any of this in the New England Patriots franchise at all. You don't see any of that.
No,
they don't let any of it happen. The most you're getting is a Gronk spike. That's all. That's all you're getting.
And you're not even getting those anymore now that he's retired. Maybe we'll see him in a couple of years if he comes back, but we'll see what happens there. But I think that bleach that he uses on his hair to make it that blonde color, I think it's starting to seep into his brain a little bit.
I think that's what really just started it all. Like when he first started doing that, like in his second year, that's what really just started it all, and that's when everything just went crazy, kind of.
I'm telling you, it's seeping into his brain, starting to mess him up. But he does bring up a good point, though, because this is a good talking point, and it's something that's probably going to carry us into the next segment because we're coming up on a break here. Will there ever be another team as dominant as the New England Patriots?
Yes, and we talked about this on our group chat that I wanted to talk about this. It just looks so hard because I don't think you'll ever have a coach and a quarterback like Tom Brady and Bill Belichick come together again of that caliber. I don't think you'll ever see those coaching quarterback come like that again. Sean Payton and Drew Brees are a very close second. They just haven't had the players around them to be that type of franchise, and they've also had problems in there too. But they both are that caliber of coach, and they can coach those type of teams. They just haven't been able to be there. But I don't think you'll ever see another team like the New England Patriots like that.
And I'm going to agree with you. Again, I'm going to agree with you on this because of exactly what you said, the combo of Brady and Belichick. I don't know if we've ever seen a quarterback-coach combo that successful in the NFL, and we're not going to see it again, at least not in our lifetime. It may happen 200, 300 years down the road, but right now, inside the NFL, looking at the landscape of it, there's nobody else that's going to be able to do what New England has done.
I think the last time you've ever really seen this in sports is kind of like in the Yankees era.
Yeah.
Like the old Yankees era with Roof and Joe DiMaggio, Lou
Gehrig,
Gehrig.
yeah.
I don't think you'll ever see anything like this again. Like it's hard to get it nowadays just because of the caliber that a lot of the players are now. It's hard because they're all so spread out. It's so hard to find these type of caliber players and coaches at the same time.
And also, and yesterday on the Sports Drive, we did something where we were talking about teams that did more with less. And we were talking about the college level, but I think if you want to move that to the pros, there's no other team that has done more with less than the New England Patriots. And that's been another factor that's been so incredible on this journey for them as the top dynasty inside the NFL and the 9 Super Bowls they've gone to, winning 6 of them. they have not had big. They've had some name players. They've had Randy Moss, yes. They've had Rob Gronkowski. They've had players that are notable and recognizable. Watch out, there's a shelf behind you. But they've had players that are noticeable and recognizable, but they haven't had a roster full of stars and athletes. It's been mediocre players, like you were talking about a moment ago, that are 5'11", that run a 4.5 40, and they're winning championships with them.
Because it's the coaching. You have these players, and they have great talent.
Yep.
But the coaching is really what makes this game and all of sports really come together. It doesn't matter how great of players you have. You still need the coaching and the play calling to get you there. Always. I don't care.
All right, well, we're going to take a quick timeout. When we come back, more Sports Call coming up next right here on ESPN Pensacola 94.5.
Now there's more fun for everyone at IP. The beautiful Bayview Cafe is here, open 24 hours, 7 days a week. You can dine anytime and meet up with friends for wine tasting at 850 Wine and Spirits. Plus, if you love sports, IP Sportsbook is where the action is, and now taking wagers. Better up.
IP Casino Resort and Spa. There's fun for everyone.
Here are the ESPN Pensacola 94.5 contest rules. You can win one prize per household per contest in any 30-day period, unless specified by individual contest rules. All prizes on ESPN Pensacola 94.5 are non-transferable, non-redeemable in cash, nor exchangeable for any other prize. ESPN Pensacola 94.5 prizes must be redeemed within a 30-day period of winning, and you must be 18 years of age or older to win. For a complete list of rules, visit ESPNpensacola.com.
When working at a growing business, you wear many hats. The new business hat, the buying toner for the copy machine hat, the sifting through tons of resumes hat. You can throw away that last hat thanks to Indeed.com. When posting your job, Indeed lets you add screener questions that give you a less time-consuming route to your short list of qualified candidates. So go ahead, dust off that extra long lunch hat. Hiring's better when you've got your short list. Save time on hiring when you post a job on Indeed. Get started today at Indeed.com/hire.
There's a lot going on right now, and broadcasters are on the ground covering all of it, bringing you the weather, the traffic, and breaking news, all while entertaining you 24 hours a day. Someone needs to tell you what's going on around the world and in our hometowns, and that someone is us. We are free radio. We are always there. We are broadcasters. Visit wearebroadcasters.com or text radio to 52886 to learn more. Furnished by NAB and this station.
ESPN Radio is taking over ESPN News. You can now watch your favorite radio shows all in one place. From Golick and Wingo.
Oh, yeah.
To the Dan Levitard Show with Stugotz.
All right, I'm available every day, thanks.
To the Stephen A. Smith Show.
I just don't understand this guy.
To the Will Kane Show.
It's my job to tell the truth.
From morning to night, the best of ESPN Radio is now available on ESPN News.
To give batters a different look, pitchers throw a changeup.
Your idea of a different look is sunglasses.
That's true. But La Quinta Inns and Suites is really taking the different look thing to a new level.
Definitely a major league makeover, starting with a bolder, brighter lobby full of comfortable spaces to let you settle in.
Or chill out in front of a big flat screen like Wingo would.
Oh, you know it. It's a changing La Quinta look to help you get in the zone and look sharp when you hit that big meeting.
Prepare to win at business with La Quinta Inns and Suites.
Book now at LQ.com.
Easy to say. We have a list of people.
All right, welcome back into Sports Call. Jordan and Davis, although we are Stan Davis. It's just two guys here hanging out instead of the normal three. It's myself and Justin hanging out with you. If you want to join us on the show, 972-1945, 972-1945. That is the number you can call. Again, that area code is 850. So it's 850-972-1945. Rolling through today's show, having a lot of fun. And again, I'm Jordan Glass, joined alongside me as always, Justin. And we are hanging out here in studio talking some things. And we were talking a little bit before we went to break about the whole Odell Beckham Jr. comments. And really, he's brought up a great talking point, honestly. And I'm surprised there's not a lot more people and a lot more shows on whether it's ESPN Radio or even the ESPN television channels that are talking about this, and that's, will there be another team as good as the New England Patriots? You and I both say no, at least not in our lifetime. I don't see it happening. They're too good. What they've done with the players that they've had, the coaching, the quarterback play, that's a once-in-a-lifetime thing, and if it happens again, it's not going to be in our lifetime.
I would say another thing about this, that if it ever does happen, I think there's going to be a lot of different changes about the game. I don't think the game's going to be the same. I think it's just going to be a different type of game. Like this, the way the game's played, I don't think it's going to be the same as it is here. I think it's going to be a type of different game if we ever see this again in history.
And I agree. I think there's going to have to be a drastic change to the game if we do see this. And we're looking at a situation now to where there could possibly be drastic changes coming up in the future, because you've got a situation where you've got the XFL coming in. You look at the way they're going to do overtime. That could be something that if the XFL collapses, the NFL looks at and goes, you know what, that's not the same as college. It's different than college. So we maintain that differential there between college. But it's also a little bit more efficient and effective than what we do. And basically, if you don't know the XFL overtime rules, get some Excedrin ready, because you're going to get a migraine from me explaining this. They're going to have both teams on the field at the same time at opposite ends of the field. They're basically going to do like hockey and soccer. It's going to be one team takes a shot at the end zone, then the other team takes a shot at the end zone. One team takes a shot at the end zone, the other team takes a shot at the end zone. So they are basically adopting the hockey overtime sudden death penalty shot rule. And I look, it may work out. It may be nice. I don't know.
Wait, so is it a series of downs or?
No, you run a play. You have one play. You have one play to score, then the other team gets a play to score. And I think if that team scores, then you get an opportunity. If you fail to score, they win. I think it's basically essentially just like hockey.
Now, are the teams going to be on the field at the same time?
At the same time and opposite ends. You're going to have – so let's say you have –
So wait, but what happens if what happens if they pick it off and just try and run it back? What happens? You're going to have a whole other team down here trying to stop
him? All right, guys, get off the field. He's coming down here. Get off the field.
What is it? The Stanford, the band's on the field. The band's on the field.
I think what they're actually going to do is, I think for interceptions, it's going to give them, 2 points. Okay. Two or 3 points or something like that. They're going to get a certain amount of points for a turnover if they force a turnover, and so that's going to go towards their calls. I really don't see how that's going to work out, though. I guess if a team intercepts the ball, then it gives the other team a chance to. I don't know. The whole XFL rules thing, still to me, I thought the AAF rules were crazy. The XFLs are even more crazier, and like I said, get some Excedrin ready, because you were going to have a migraine when I'm done with that, and I think Justin's brain is about to explode right now.
I don't understand it. What?
Yeah, it's very difficult to talk about. Hopefully we can get Oliver Luck on Talk Football before the XFL gets started up. We've had him on a couple of times already. Hopefully we'll be able to get him on again as the commissioner of the league, and he can explain this a little bit more into detail, not only for us here that work at ESPN Pensacola, but also our listeners as well, because we do not understand it one bit. But the bottom line is, we're not going to see another team like New England in our lifetime unless there's a major drastic change in the game.
I applaud the XFL
for
changing it up. It's nice to see a change, see how it goes. They're trying to take a shot here, just see what happens. I don't blame them. I like it.
Do you think we'll actually get a full season in the XFL? No. I think we'll get a full season in the XFL. There's more money behind the XFL than there was the AAF, and really at the end of the day, that's why the AAF collapsed is a money issue. They ran out of money. They didn't have the money, so they had to fold. I think the XFL at least has it to where they can play a full season.
What's the word I'm looking for? Will it stay consistent, like the viewership of it?
Will it
stay
the
consistent? No, that's what I'm saying. I think they'll get through a full season, but I don't think their viewership will stay consistent to where they can really have it's a full season of it being watched.
And I think another thing that was a knock for the AAF is look at where they tried to have their teams. They tried to have their teams in places that are more college towns and more college areas. Yes, they had a San Antonio and a San Diego, and those are more pro sports towns. But Orlando, that's more, you've got Central Florida, you've got Florida, South Florida, Florida State. Birmingham with Alabama and Auburn, Salt Lake with Utah and Utah State. So they went more with college, more areas that were more friendly to college. So I think once spring ball started up for these college teams, people started in those areareas stared paying more attention, to that than
because
the AAF.
That's what's important to them. Everyone's going to support their college team over the AF.
And a lot of people that live in those areas. If you go down to Orlando, Drive around Orlando. Drive around downtown Orlando for about 10, 15 minutes. You will see so many University of Florida alumni tags or bumper stickers or something like that. And it's the same case for Central Florida, South Florida, even Florida State in Orlando. And you go to Alabama, you've got the same with Alabama, Auburn, UAB, West Alabama, and just different schools throughout the state of Alabama. So people like college more, and if they went to that college, there's more of a connection and a bond to that school and to the athletic team. So I think, again, that's why the AAF tended to drop off. The XFL, however, they're going after professional cities. They're going after major market cities. They're going to New York. They're going to LA. They're going to Dallas. And I think that's going to be another reason why they're going to have a little bit more success.
What time of year does their season take place?
It's almost going to be the same exact season as what the AAF was. The XFL championship game next year is set to be April 25th, which is the Sunday after the NFL draft.
So, okay, I see what you're saying there. I don't know how I feel about that though. Like it's interesting, but because the AFF went after the AFL went after the college cities, and I don't know how they're going to do with the pro cities though in the XFL.
Well, here's the thing: is there's some of those, and that's a great point too. And this is something we have to look at. There are some of those cities that have Major League Baseball teams that will be getting ready to start their season.
True.
When the XFL is getting started, you'll have the Dodgers, you'll have the
sports.
Angels, the Mets, the Yankees. So cities like that, the Rangers, right there in Arlington, that's not too far from Dallas. I mean, they're basically right next to each other.
Yeah.
So I think that's another thing that you have to look at with the XFL as well. But I think here's the thing: if the AAF does come back, and they've talked about possibly making a comeback and trying again. Maybe it might be next year. It might be another couple of years before they come back. I think the best thing for them to do with this towns that they went for, the cities they went for, going mainly with college cities or cities that are surrounded by colleges more than pro teams, go in the summer. Go in the summer. Because here's the thing. Spring football is over. There's nothing going on but conditioning. You're going to have minor league baseball in some of these cities, but I think, honestly, professional football would trump minor league baseball in some cities.
You also have there's a lot of other sports because like you mentioned Major League Baseball. There's still basketball going on too. And the New York Knicks. Well, we don't know what they'll be doing.
Yeah.
But like you know what I'm saying. Like there's still other sports. There's a lot going on there. It's tough to find that happy medium of what they need to do and where they need to go.
But yeah, I mean, even you mentioned the NBA. I mean, outside of New York, you've got the Dallas Mavericks with the Dallas team that's going to be there in the XFL. They're going to have an LA team. You've got the Lakers and the Clippers. So it's going to be really, what are people going to choose to go to? And especially in LA, you look at it, you've got the Dodgers, the Angels, the LA XFL team, and let's say, well, when they start, the regular season will still be going on in the NBA, so you'll have the Lakers and the Clippers playing all together. That's 5 teams playing in the city of LA. What are fans going to go to?
I mean, they'll have a lot of options.
They will have a lot of options, and I think at the end of the day, unfortunately, it's probably going to be the XFL that suffers from it. So
yeah, clearly, because I mean, they just weren't here first. These teams were they weren't here first.
They weren't here first, and I think the product is probably going to be because look, here's the thing: when you are looking at the LA Chargers or the LA Rams, if the Saints come to town, Drew Brees is on that team. People are going to go watch that game because Drew Brees is a part of that game. Tom Brady, the Patriots come to town. Same thing with that. They're going to be going to watch Tom Brady play, and they're going to be going, obviously, because they're Chargers and Rams fans as well, but you better believe when they have the Patriots, when they have the Saints, when they have those types of teams that have those high-caliber, world-famous, Hall of Fame automatic bids type players like a Drew Brees or a Tom Brady or even Aaron Rodgers at Green Bay, when they come to town, fans are going to go because that person is playing, and then they can go to their grandkids and go, yeah, once upon a time I saw Aaron Rodgers and the Packers play the Rams.
I mean, yeah, there's a lot of factors of that too. The players, you don't have any of the big name players. You need that, and there's a lot of factors with this, and it's hard to beat it. There's a lot to do to beat it. Like the XFL, it's tough. You got it tough.
As we've talked about this more, I'm starting to believe less and less in the fact that we may have a full XFL season. So the more we talk about it and break it down with all the other teams that are going to be going on, the lack of star power behind it, outside of the coaches. I mean, you're going to have coaches like Bob Stoops there, but we saw that with Steve Spurrier in Orlando. That wasn't enough for the AAF.
And Steve Spurrier is bigger than Bob Stoops.
He is.
Like, let's be honest.
Bob Stoops is where he is at because he was part of Steve Spurrier's coaching staff. So technically, you can say Steve Spurrier created Bob Stoops. Yeah. So I think we'll just have to find out what happens with the XFL when it gets started up next year. But we're going to take another time out. When we come back, we'll have more Sports Call. We'll get into some NBA talk coming up next right here on Sports Call with Jordan and Davis on ESPN Pensacola 94.5.
Beau Rivage is the place to be for basketball championship action. From buzzer beaters to slam dunks, we have everything you need for hoop season. Make every game interesting at Beau Rivage. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
Introducing. Nah, not big enough. It's the brand new. Nah, still not big enough. Introducing the brand new French-inspired topped with fresh fruit crepes lineup, only at Denny's. Yeah, that's better. There's the new banana chocolate hazelnut crepes, the banana berry caramel crepes, and the strawberry vanilla crepes, made with fresh strawberries, strawberry sauce, and vanilla cream. Fresh fruit, French, and delicious. Come try all three. See you at Denny's. Price and participation may vary. Limited time only.
Remember those summer adventures as a kid? On two wheels. Cutting loose with your buddies, enjoying freedom of an endless summer night. Make new memories this summer at Harley-Davidson of Pensacola. Owning a Harley is easier and affordable than ever. Check out Harley-Davidson of Pensacola's Red Tag Sales Event. Drastic reductions on pre-owned inventory. For Mother's Day, mamas receive fresh flowers. Discover your inner child again with the freedom that owning a Harley brings. Harley-Davidson of Pensacola. Let's ride.
ESPN Radio is taking over ESPN News. You can now watch your favorite radio shows all in one place. From Golic and Wingo.
Oh, yeah.
To the Dan Levitard Show with Stugotz.
All right, I'm available every day, thanks.
To the Stephen A. Smith Show.
I just don't understand this guy.
To the Will Kane Show.
It's my job to tell the truth.
From morning to night, the best of ESPN Radio is now available on ESPN News.
I'm Little Teapot, short and stout.
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
No, Dad, like this. When I get all steamed up, then I shout, tip me over and pour me out.
This is WWE superstar Roman Reigns. It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Visit fatherhood.gov, brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Our Pensacola Wahoos are back for another season, and with the new season comes some fresh and new changes. Our Wahoos are now the new AA affiliate of the Minnesota Twins, and they have a new broadcast home here in Pensacola, right here at your hometown station for hometown sports, ESPN Pensacola 94.5. Catch all the Wahoos action from home and away with Chris Garagiola. Wahoos baseball presented by Denny's on the new official flagship station for the Blue Wahoos, ESPN Pensacola 94.5 and ESPNpensacola.com. ESPN Pensacola 94.5, also on your HD radio at HD2 98.7 WYCT, streaming on our website, ESPNpensacola.com. We're also streaming live on YouTube and Facebook as well, Facebook.com/ESPN Pensacola 94.5. Welcome back into Sports Call. I am Jordan Glass. No Davis today, but joining alongside me, as always, our producer Justin, who is in studio with us today. And if you want to be a part of the show, call in 972-1945, 850-972-1945. And kind of getting right back into it, before we get to the NBA postseason, you reminded me of something.
Yep.
I've got to give my alma mater, Navarre High School, a little bit of a shout-out. They knocked off Niceville in the in Major League, or not Major League Baseball. They're playing Major League Baseball if they're beating off teams like Niceville.
And Niceville's got some pretty MLB caliber players are going to be going to the draft this year.
Yeah.
With Connor Walsh. He's their star player, their leadoff guy. Oh, my gosh, playing against that guy. Wow, I played against him a couple of times. He is a phenomenal athlete. I remember the first time we played Niceville this year. Let's see. First at-bat, I think he got out. Second at-bat, he took it about 350 over the wall. And then we were tied with them. Like this was an exciting game. Like the umpires told our coach that we're a scrappy bunch of players. We're young, and so we're tied. We're on first and second. Walk-off homer, straight dead center. I'm just like, gosh, this guy's good. He's a tough player to beat. And so Tuesday, I played. You want to keep going?
No, you're good. You know this better than I do because you play these teams.
Yeah,
so
I
go
play
ahead.
these teams. But shout out to your school. They beat a very tough Niceville team, 9-8, winning the district championship, which is the first time in a while Navarre has done that. And Navarre actually eliminated my school, the team that I play for, Milton High School, Tuesday, lost to them 8-5. We were able to put 2 home runs up against them, and I don't know what we had against them, but we just couldn't get it done. But Navarre, it was very exciting to see them win because Niceville. This is coming from the player aspect of it. Niceville is the team that isn't liked in the area. That's just the player aspect.
They're the New England Patriots essentially. They always win, so
it's just because sometimes they can be a little bit rude to you.
Okay, all right.
That's just how everyone was happy to see it happen. But also moving on to the
studio lines ringing. Hang on. Hello. Yeah, it's Niceville. They want to talk to you.
Oh yeah, I forget them. Moving on to the 1-7A district though, Escambia beating Pace.
Yeah.
Which is a huge loss. Pace going all the way to the state last year. Runner-up came up just short. That was they look like they had the team that could do it again, but this last half of the season they haven't been very strong. And then also Pine Forest beating Tate. Pine Forest came out this year and they were very surprising. They surprised a lot of us, and this could be the first time in who knows how long. I haven't actually looked at it and looked into it that Milton, nor Pace, nor Tate will be in regionals this year, which is a huge surprise because these teams for when I've been in high school and even before that, it's always been one of those teams is always in regionals. It always has been, and so not having any of them in there, it's a huge surprise. All of them very talented teams. And it's just a lot more can happen now. And that's what it surprised me. I mean, Navarre, they can do a lot now because they won't have to worry about Pace. They always struggle against Pace, and I always struggle against Tate. Escambia is a team that you can pick up signs up very well. When we played them at Wahoo Stadium, we were able to pick up their signs very well. We could pick up their catcher signs. We knew what they were throwing. Navarre, same way. I was actually the guy who picked up y'all signs, and I was actually calling signs a lot throughout the game that what y'all are going to throw. And because when they give the same number system overall in all of their games, they call the same amount of pitches. They call them the same way. They don't change it up. And so when you record them, let's say it takes about 2-3 innings to record the numbers of call because they'll give 2-1-2. That's going to be a fastball, or 3-1-5. That's going to be a curveball. You record it right down the paper of what the pitch was and what they called. By the third or fourth inning, you know what they're throwing because they're using those same numbers.
Hang on, the studio line's ringing. Hello. Yeah, it's Bill Belichick. He wants to put you on his coaching staff.
And so that's what I was a little bit mad about because Pace and Tate, they're not those teams that you can pick these signs up. They keep it very, very. They always change it up. They always keep you off balance with it. Same with my school, Milton, and that's what made it tough to beat. But these teams here, they're a lot easier to pick up. A lot easier to pick up. Escambia were able to pick them up. Pine Forest, same way. I did the same thing with them. They're an easy team to pick up, but a lot more talent. They can hit the ball really hard. TK Roby, he's one of the area's best players. Man, he's doing it everywhere. He's their star center fielder. He's their star hitter. He's their star pitcher. He against Tate in the first round of districts, he threw a complete game shutout with 11 strikeouts, 1 walk. That's really impressive against Tate. That's very impressive. Complete game shutout. He's committed to Troy, I believe, and let's see, against Pace the week before, threw a complete game shutout against them too. He's a very talented pitcher. I worked out with him in the offseason. I've seen him in person. He's very talented. Expect a lot from him next year. He's really good. He's just a junior. And so there's a lot that can happen in these regionals, and I'm excited to see what happens.
I mean, that sounds like it's a lot of fun, and I'm glad that the door's kind of been open, and not to knock on Pace and Tate and Niceville and all the other powers from the area, but it's nice to see that the door's been open
I love
for
it
other teams.
So much more can happen now because it's always just been these schools that have been in control, and so it's nice to see that these other schools, they've stepped up this year. Escambia's won 8 straight. They've won 10 of their last 11. That's impressive. Pine Forest, they have 5 losses on the season. and I think only 2 of them were non-district. That's what's tough about them. They're a tough team to beat, and I'm excited to see what they could do because their pitching staff it's incredible. We played them on my senior night. The kid they pitched, he had going into the game, he had 100 at bats already on the season. He pitched, he walked none. He out of 100 at bats, he threw 0 walks. He threw his first 2 walks of the season against us that night. Very impressive, and that guy's about their 4th starter. He's their 4th in the rotation. That's the type of talent Pine Forest has. They came out this year, and 2 years ago was the last time they made it 2 regionals. They lost to Milton. That's how their season ended. So seeing them this year with this kind of caliber team, I've played against a lot of the guys on that team. I played with them too. They got some talent. They have a lot of talent, and the coaching is pretty well, pretty good coaching, and it's surprising.
All right, and you mentioned Pace there. Obviously, something that we can tie in here talking about the Pace Patriots when it comes to baseball is Addison Russell. Addison Russell getting an opportunity again in the Major League Baseball. Look, I'm not going to go into the details on what happened in the situation there. People here in this area, it was covered enough. We know what happened. If you don't Google it, find out what happened. We're not going to go into detail on it on today's show, but it's nice to see him back in the major leagues. Hopefully any kind of counseling or anything that happened there in that situation to help kind of, heal or fix things in between the relationship there has happened, and hopefully this is an opportunity for him to kind of continue to grow and become the Major League Baseball player we saw signs of as he was continuing to start his career, and already had won a World Series with the Cubs, and was a key piece of that team, and it's good to see him back in a Cubs uniform.
Yeah, I forgot to mention the Pine Forest was actually the team that they beat Escambia, so they'll be facing Niceville, the runner-up of the 2 7A district runner-up. So it'll be Pine Forest and Niceville. That's gonna be a great game to watch because Niceville has some great talent on that team, especially with they have a pitcher committed to Ole Miss. He'll probably be starting at 7. They'll probably be starting TK Roby, who's a very talented pitcher. That's gonna be a great matchup there. If you want to go watch that, and then Escambia and Navarre, that's gonna be also a great matchup because they're actually really equal level teams. I played both of them. It's gonna be a good game to watch. You're gonna have some great baseball in regional play. But back to Addison Russell, yeah, the Cubs making him active. I'm happy to see it for him just because I don't want to get into it, but I was happy to see that he's back now. It makes me happy, especially him coming from this area.
Yeah, and I think you look at it, and with that situation, a lot of times when athletes are in that situation, it goes one or two ways. Either they get the second opportunity and they take full advantage of it and they're able to turn things around and get things back on track, or it just doesn't work out for them and they just continue to have issues and it ultimately ends up costing them their career and relationships and things like that. So hopefully Addison can get that back on track, and like we said, it's great to see him back in a Cubs uniform, and he's gonna get the opportunity to start producing. I know he played a couple of games already with them, and just looking forward to seeing him get back into the swing of things. Speaking of staying in the swing of things, how about some UWF action, because we got just about another 2.5, 3 minutes before the break here. Baseball is actually going to get ready. May 16th, they'll start the NCAA tournament. They came up just short in the championship game for the Gulf South Conference tournament. So they were able to get to the championship game, but they did come up short in that one. They did win the regular season title, though. So they did get a Gulf South Conference title this year. They'll be a number 1 seed in the South region, I believe, when that gets started May 16th. Softball was the number 1 seed. What's that?
For D2, right?
For D2, yep,
yes.
For D2. And softball was the number 1 seed in the South region. They got it started with a big win over Valdosta State. Then they actually lost to Tampa yesterday, had to play Valdosta State again, came back and beat them 4-3. And now they'll play Tampa again. They have to beat Tampa twice in order to advance to the Super Regionals. So we'll continue to keep up with UWF as both baseball and softball are currently in the NCAA tournament here. And obviously Blue Wahoos, we'll talk about them throughout the show today. Lost to Mississippi last night, but they still won the series 3-2. They're on the road still for another 5 games before they come home. May 16th will be when they're back at the Blue Wahoo Stadium. They'll be taking on Chattanooga for the next 5 games, and still a great season for them. Still have yet to lose a series on the season. That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's amazing for them. I'm happy to see that coming from this area. UWF baseball, they had a little of a dry spell there for a while, but always been a great program. Happy to see the softball program stepping up too. I actually want to have a question for you. Since you see all these other sports programs doing so well, you see football's coming up, they're doing good. I know there's some others too. what do you think the chances are that they could end up going D1 here in the future?
You know, that's the funny thing is that Chad on the Sports Drive, Chad Berlante, who hosts the Sports Drive 5 to 7, and I'm a part of that show as well, had Coach Mike Jeffcoat, the baseball coach for UWF, on his show a couple of weeks ago, I believe, before they started the Gulf South Conference tournament, and he kind of asked that same question, and he said, you know what, it actually came down to becoming a D1 school in all the other sports, or adding a football program. And they kind of decided that as the coaches, at least for their point of view, he said that, basically what they wanted to do was add another athletic program that they could be successful at, and rather than being able to just boast about being a D1 school, because still you take a look at it, if they're going to be a D1 school, they're going to be a bottom tier D1 school.
Yes, but it's still good because you're a D1 school.
Right.
And now here's the thing as well. You see the football program, they're doing good.
Yeah.
Now, we'll say this for love or to hate it. I'll ask that question. What's it going to be? Like, because if they stay with their talent and how good they're doing, I think it's a possibility. I think it's a possibility here in the future, not near future, but in the future. You see it. I will say it for love and hate it though.
All right, and I tell you what, love it or hate it will be coming up next. So we'll take a quick time out. When we come back, love it or hate it, right here on Sports Call with Jordan and Davis on ESPN Pensacola 94.5.
Hi, it's Flint Lockwood here in Swallow Falls. My friends and I have just discovered some amazing living foodimals, but we've also discovered an urgent matter that needs our help. According to my calculations, 1 in 5 kids in America struggles with hunger. Our latest mission is to help solve hunger by teaming up with the Feeding America Network to get food to kids facing hunger in communities across the country.
Help Flint and the Feeding America Network of food banks get food to the people who need it in your community. Find your local Feeding America food bank at feedingamerica.org/hunger.
Together, we're Feeding America.
A message from Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Hey there! I'm a glue stick, so I have one job. I glue kid stuff. So sorry for being jealous of Geico, who does a ton more, like give you 24/7 access to thousands of licensed agents. And Geico has been around for over 75 years and has a 97% customer satisfaction rating. While I've just got mediocre adhesive skills, Geico also has an award-winning mobile app. Uh-oh, arts and crafts time. No eating the glue stick, Miss Lydia!
Geico. Expect great savings and a whole lot more.
To give batters a different look, pitchers throw a changeup.
Your idea of a different look is sunglasses.
That's true. But La Quinta Inns and Suites is really taking the different look thing to a new level.
Definitely a major league makeover, starting with a bolder, brighter lobby full of comfortable spaces to let you settle in.
Or chill out in front of a big, flat screen like Wingo would.
Oh, you know it. It's a changing La Quinta look to help you get in the zone and look sharp when you hit that big meeting.
Prepare to win at business with La Quinta Inns and Suites.
Book now at LQ.com.
Here are the ESPN Pensacola 94.5 contest rules. You can win one prize per household per contest in any 30-day period, unless specified by individual contest rules. All prizes on ESPN Pensacola 94.5 are non-transferable, non-redeemable in cash, nor exchangeable for any other prize. ESPN Pensacola 94.5 prizes must be redeemed within a 30-day period of winning, and you must be 18 years of age or older to win. For a complete list of rules, visit ESPNpensacola.com.
What if people had a battery level icon? Like on your phone? You'd see a lot of us in need of a recharge. Thank goodness there's 5-Hour Energy. Because just one sugar-free, vitamin-packed 5-Hour Energy shot can get you all the way back to 100% fast. And isn't life better at 100%? 5-Hour Energy. Get back to 100%. For more information, visit 5hourenergy.com.
Hear ye, hear ye. I bringeth thee a message from... a message from the king and his new trumpeter, Stephen. The king wishes me to convey his favor to thine team and thine tailgate. Not yet. He invites thee to let the Bud Light flow forth. And he also wishes me to tell thee that he toasts thee. Waiteth until the end, Stephen! With game day's favorite light lager and the slogan of his kingdom... Oh! Dilly dilly!
Enjoy responsibly. Bud Light Beer, AB, St. Louis, Missouri.
ESPN Pensacola 94.5, also on your HD radio at HD2 98.7 WYCT, and streaming on our website at ESPNpensacola.com. If you listen to this show every week, you know what that song means. It's time for a little love it or hate it here on Sports Call, and we'll go ahead and get this started. Basically, the way it works for our new listeners or our new viewers, if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, Justin's going to give a topic. We're both going to explain why we either love it or hate it. So, Justin, what is the first love it or hate it for today's show?
All right, first love it or hate it, we're going to have, will we see Kyrie Irving back in Boston next season in the NBA?
That's actually a topic we're going to talk about in the NBA stuff. I hate it because I think he's going to be on a different team.
You think so?
Yeah.
All right, we'll keep it there. Will we see KD again in the postseason if the Warriors make it to the finals? Will we see KD again?
See, it's a strained calf muscle. There might be an opportunity, maybe Game 5 of the NBA Finals, something like that.
Love it?
So, yeah, I'd say I'd love it.
All right. I think I hate it with it. I just, because of the mild calf strain, I don't think it's going to happen. But, yeah, I don't know about it. I just think there's a lot that could happen with it. And the Warriors, it seems like they're doing fine without them. It's a happy medium type thing with them. Now, they play the Bucks. If they play the Bucks in the postseason, I think they're going to need him desperately. Klay Thompson said it last night. If we want to win and do a 3-peat, we need KD desperately. That was his words, desperately.
You got the love it or hate it from our NBA topics for today's show, didn't you? Because it's all. I'm just messing with you.
But all right, we're going to move on to UWF action. Will we see UWF go D1 with after 5 years, between the next 5 and 10 years? What will we?
I'm gonna say I hate that. I think it's gonna take more of 15. 10 to if you would have said 10-15, I would have maybe have loved it, but I'm gonna hate it because 5 to 10, I don't know if it's gonna happen that quick.
I love it if Pete Shinnick can keep the program going this way.
Well, you got to think, if it happens, let's say it happens in 6 years, that's only 8 years of being a football program. So that's got to be a record for the NCAA of quickest move up. So, I mean, they've already broken one record by going to the NCAA national championship game in year 2 of program history. So why not?
I mean, it's Pensacola, Florida. I mean, like, the greatest city in the country. Yeah, we love it here. I love it. I want to see it happen. I think it can happen if Pete Shinnick keeps it going. I love it. I think it can happen. There will never be another franchise in all of sports like the New England Patriots. We will never see it again.
In all of sports?
Well, we're gonna go baseball, basketball, and
football. Okay. I'll say I love that. I think there's a good say. I mean, Golden State is doing a lot of good things. It's kind of a dynasty now in the NBA, but I think for them, they're still not quite the caliber of a New England Patriot. So I'm gonna say I love it.
Okay. In order for moving on to back to the NBA. In order for the Warriors to win this championship, Stephen Curry's just got to step up. He scored none in the first half. Last night, he's got to step up in these future games, whether it be Portland or Denver that they face in the Western Conference Final, and if they move on to the NBA Finals, he has to step up and be the leader that we all know he is. He can't do what he did last night and not score. He has to step up.
I love that. He does have to step up, because here's the thing: is if they can make it to the NBA Finals, there's a very strong possibility they'll be taking on the Milwaukee Bucks. And if they're going up against Milwaukee Bucks and Giannis, the Greek Freak, and he does not have a first half where he scores a point, that's going to be a team that's going to have about a 12-point lead on them, if not more than that. So I'm going to say, yeah, he definitely has to step up more moving forward.
All right, let's move on to some baseball action. I love the way the Phillies are playing. Will we see the Philadelphia Phillies in the World Series this year? Based off what we've seen, we will see them.
The World Series, I will say no. I'll say I hate that. I don't know. In the postseason, yes. I think that they've got a great opportunity of making the postseason. The World Series, I'm gonna pump my brakes on that, because we're still so early in the season. Right now, the Phillies are playing really good baseball. The Rays are playing really good baseball. By the time we hit the postseason, they could not even be in the conversation anymore. That's just how things change in baseball. So I'm gonna say yes to postseason, but since you said World Series, I'm gonna go I hate it.
All right, I hate it as well. Actually, I do not like that idea, just because Bryce Harper, he can come out really hot. But he's gonna flatten out here coming in here, because he's really hot with all the hate that he got at the end of the season. When he gets hate, he steps up and plays. But when it dies out, he's just like, all right, yeah, I'm not gonna do much now. You got anything for Doug or hate it?
Yeah, actually I do. I'm gonna say, I'm gonna kind of piggyback off of what you said for Division I. If UWF does go to D1, we see Pensacola host a bowl game. Not a big one. Not a big one.
Not a big one, of course.
Kind of almost like the Dollar General Bowl over in Mobile.
I love it. I want to see it happen. I love it. I like that idea a lot. I didn't even think about that, but I love it. I love it.
I love it too. Here's something that I would love to see here, and whether it happens or not, I doubt it. But this is a big military town.
Yep.
I know it's a tradition to have it where it is, but I would love to see maybe not Army Navy, but Air Force Navy played at Blue Wahoo Stadium. It's a Navy town. It's a big Navy base, one of the more popular Navy bases in the country. I would love to see that happen here. But I think, I'm going to go love it as well for the bowl game.
All right. I have one going to the NFL. Pass interference calls being able to be reviewed and challenged will be a problem in the NFL this next season.
Oh, it's going to be a huge problem. It's going to be a huge problem, not only for the game and just, the way that it affects the game, but also just slowing down the game in general. Games are already 3 hours long, 3 hours, 15 minutes long. Now you've got a situation where these coaches are probably going to be throwing the red flag on every other pass interference call that they don't think was actually pass interference. If it fits the rules for it to be reviewed, they're going to be trying to get it reviewed. That's going to slow down the game even more. So there's a possibility we could be looking at a 3 hour and 45-minute game next year in the NFL.
I love it. It's going to be a problem. I just don't see how it won't be. It's going to make the games longer, and I think I'm going to end up scratching it. I do. I think they might end up scratching it or lessening it a lot.
Now let me ask you this. All right, love it or hate it for this one. Let's say the pass interference does work this year, and it doesn't actually slow down the game or mess up the game. And it's not a problem. I know. It's a pipe dream, but it's a dream. What other rule? I guess it's not really a love it or hate. It's more of an opinion piece. What rule do you think would be the next one to get reviewed?
Oh wow, that's a tough one. I want to go holding calls.
Holding. Okay, I could see that. All right, do you have anything else for love it or hate it?
Let's see. I'm trying to think of something. Let's go for Wahoos.
All right.
Blue Wahoos will stay in first place by the time the end of June hits. They will still be in first place.
I will take you a step further and say not only will they be in first place when June hits, they'll win the first half championship. They will also win the second half championship. And it'll have to be a battle between the other teams behind them for who gets that second place spot and moves on and eventually loses. Look, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say this right now. And you can, if this doesn't happen, you can say if they tank the rest of the year, you can blame me for this happening because I'm gonna say this. I think the Blue Wahoos win the Southern League this year. They're too good of a team.
Okay, so you say that.
I say they win.
Trying to call the Phillies with the World Series is too big, but
you look at it's different though for the Wahoos at the minor league level right now. You look at what the rest of the Southern League is doing. There's not really anybody as close to the success the Wahoos are having.
Yeah,
they've got a lot of great talent from the Twins, and there's still more on the way that hasn't even made it to Pensacola yet.
I love it. I love it completely. It's just tough to say, but I do agree with that first half championship. I think because they're just so far ahead of the talent that these other teams have.
And there's only 5 weeks till the All-Star break.
Exactly. That's why I think this. I love it completely. I'm not going to be surprised if it happens. I love it.
All right. Well, I tell you what. Let's just go ahead and pod down the love it or hate it music, and we'll just carry on throughout the rest of the segment. By the way, you are listening to Sports Call right here on ESPN Pensacola 94.5. You can be a part of the show by calling into our studio line 850-972-1945. Again, that studio line number 850-972-1945. Got a couple of minutes before we hit the top of the hour, but I want to talk about the LA Lakers for a couple of minutes. We'll get into more detail on it in the second hour.
Yes,
but
this is what I've been trying to think of all day.
But my goodness, the Lakers. Wow. The Lakers. If you look at your notes there on the second page, I sum them up in one sentence. It's a sentence we can't say on the radio, but it fits them perfectly right now. And Justin's reaction will give you all you need to know.
Wow.
I would flash the camera and let you see it, but trust me, you don't want to see it. But it fits them perfectly because that's exactly what's happening. Because here's the thing: is they wanted to get Tyronn Lue. That was the guy that they wanted. Talks fell through for him. Now they're having to go to basically their fifth and sixth options if they're going to even get those. And this is a situation to where the LA Lakers are in a very bad spot. They had fan protest, which we will get to a little later. As a matter of fact, we'll have some audio from one of the fans there. And Yeah, he said some things that I wanted to reach through the screen, and I've never wanted to reach through a screen and punch somebody as hard as I did this kid. Do you know the audio I'm talking about?
I think so.
Yeah, and basically it's he's calling out LeBron James. I'm like, dude, he's been there 1 year. We'll get to that later on in the second half of the show, but the Lakers are just a mess right now.
I mean, are we going to talk about this when we come back too? Because there's just a lot you can say about this. Protesting in sports.
Yeah.
Now, you're not protesting a rule.
Not protesting for a cause.
No,
it's not like
you're
taking a knee during the
protesting
national
for
anthem.
a team, the way a team's played.
Yeah.
What has happened?
Yeah. Well,
what has happened?
Well, that is LA for you. But we need to take a quick time out. We'll be back with hour 2 of the show coming up next. We'll talk more about this. You better believe it. On the other side of this, you're listening to Sports Call, ESPN Pensacola 94.5.
All sports, all the time. ESPN Pensacola, 94.5 WYCT Pensacola.
To protect her home and family in a disaster, Karen was willing to wade through water, mud, and insurance paperwork.
Yeah, I can do this.
You go, Karen! By simply understanding and updating what her insurance covers and doesn't cover now, she'll be better prepared no matter when disaster strikes. Learn other simple ways to protect your home and family before a natural disaster at ready.gov. That's ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
At Denny's, you can get 2 eggs, 2 pancakes, 3 pieces of sausage, and 3 pieces of bacon, all for $5.99. Now, before you say, wow, that's a lot of meat, know that this dish has its fan base right there in the name. This is for people who really love meat, the super meat lovers. So if you're a super meat lover who likes the idea of getting all the meat you love at a super low price, then the $5.99 Meat Lovers Slam is for you. See you at Denny's. Price and participation may vary. Limited time only, no substitutions.
Pensacola is loaded with famous athletes, and when it comes to seeing a chiropractor for their sports injuries, there is one team they trust, Doctors Edwin Roberts. A family tradition for 3 generations, Doctors Edwin Roberts Chiropractic, next to Legendary Fitness on Mobile Highway, has helped champion athletes like Emmett Smith and Trent Richardson. Doctors Roberts specialize in relieving auto accident pain to physicals for the student athlete. The best treatment for sports injuries is prevention. Call 912-4155 for a free consultation and change your life forever.
Remember those summer adventures as a kid? On 2 wheels. Cutting loose with your buddies, enjoying freedom of an endless summer night. Make new memories this summer at Harley-Davidson of Pensacola. Owning a Harley is easier and affordable than ever. Check out Harley-Davidson of Pensacola's Red Tag Sales Event. Drastic reductions on pre-owned inventory. For Mother's Day, mamas receive fresh flowers. Discover your inner child again with the freedom that owning a Harley brings. Harley-Davidson of Pensacola. Let's ride.
Getting knocked down on the football field makes you tough. But getting back up makes you tougher. At Goodyear, we call that determination. A willingness to put in more hours, more reps, and more heart to reach a bar that's sky high. Because the Goodyear blimp doesn't show up for just anybody. So don't be just anybody. Be blimp-worthy. Goodyear, more driven.
From local to national, they've got you covered. Every team, every sport, every game. Sports Call with Jordan and Davis starts now on ESPN Pensacola 94.5.
Hour 2 of Sports Call right here on ESPN Pensacola 94.5. We're also on our HD radio at HD2 98.7 WYCT and streaming on our website, ESPNpensacola.com, streaming live on YouTube and Facebook Live as well. You can find us at YouTube. Just do a search for ESPN Pensacola 945. You'll be able to find us that way. And on Facebook, just head over to Facebook.com/ESPN Pensacola 945. You can actually see an inside view here into the studio as far as what we're doing. All the facial expressions and dance moves that Justin does, and we're getting those. He's going full Michael Jackson on me across the studio over there. But we're having a lot of fun on today's show. And we want to keep the fun stuff going.
Well, I mean,
talking about the go ahead.
It's my senior prom tonight, so that's why.
That's why you're so excited.
Yeah,
that's why you're so excited.
Yeah, yes. last minute. Like it's like graduating here soon. I mean, it's
So where's senior prom gonna be?
Senior prom, New World Landing.
Okay, New World Land. That is nice. That is a
It's
nice
very
prom.
nice, very nice. We have a nice DJ coming in, Oso City from down from. We flew him in from Miami.
You have messed up by bringing up senior prom now because now who's your date?
My date is my girlfriend, Marie Zuby. She's my beautiful girlfriend.
There you go. Give her a shout out.
Yep.
All right, earning the brownie points there by calling her beautiful. All right, you've been taught well, young sir. You've been taught well. All right, let's get into this now with the Lakers here because. My goodness, the Lakers are, well, again, I can't say what I put on the paper here that we have, but it fits them perfectly. And there's some four-letter words on there, and one rhymes with, it.
Yeah.
They're an it show. We'll leave it at that because it's bad right now. They're in L.A.
There's a lot of things you can rhyme this with.
Yeah. Bit.
And, there's one here.
Yeah, we're gonna leave that one off. That one's a really bad one. We're gonna leave that one off. But no, they are a mess right now, and it is absolutely. It's ridiculous to see the Los Angeles Lakers reduced to this. They're the Los Angeles
That's what's
Lakers.
so surprising. This is like the Yankees of the NBA.
Yeah.
This is the Yankees of the NBA, and they're really going down to this level of their city. When things are going to change, you have LeBron here now. Things are going to change. And you're acting this way. First of all, I've never seen this in sports. Protesting their frustrations because of the way the teams played.
Yeah, and I want you to see if you can pull up that audio clip maybe on YouTube or something of the kid at the protest yesterday who's he's going, my grandpa had Kareem, my dad had Kobe, I got LeBron, I got nothing from it. What's he brought me? It's like, bro, he's been there 1 year. Calm down, Skippy. Go have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and calm down. Let's see if we can find that audio because it is my gosh,
it is clean?
It is.
I
think it should be clean. Let's see. No, that is definitely not him. That's the Native American protest we had that caused some big issues. So we definitely don't want to play that on the air.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm scrolling down through here. You know what? It is actually not on YouTube. But basically, the legitimate, the small part of what he was saying is that his dad had Kareem, they won championships, or his grandpa had Kareem, they won championships. His dad had Kobe, they won championships. And technically, his dad had Kobe, Shaq, Pau Gasol, Derek Fisher, and Lamar Odom back when he was good before the Kardashians got a hold of him. And they had all those players.
Yeah.
You're not going to expect LeBron James with Lance Stevenson. I mean, Rajon Rondo, an older, washed-up Rajon Rondo.
Lonzo Ball.
Don't even. You're just gonna make me laugh at that one.
Lonzo Ball.
Yeah.
They got who else we got?
This team is not talented enough to compete and make it to the playoffs. And they were still. That's the crazy thing. Because they had LeBron, they were still in the playoff picture for most of the season.
Yeah.
It took until the last month of the season for them to be eliminated.
This is what I've always said about LeBron James. Is when you play in the East, it's a lot different. It's a lot easier to just carry a team to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Because the East is nowhere near the caliber of the West.
Well, I will say this. There was that period of time where LeBron suffered the groin injury on Christmas Day, and then he had to sit out for a while and not play. I think if that changes, if he does not get hurt there, the Lakers there's a very good chance that the Lakers could sneak into that 8th spot and make it to the postseason. Now, they don't get out of the first round, but they could possibly have made it into that 8th spot if he's healthy throughout the entire year.
Yes, and the thing is, you had, back to what I was saying, the East, for the majority of the season, if you had the 7th and 8th seed, if you had a losing record, you still made it in those spots. You still made it to the playoffs. That tells you how much of a difference there is between
Look
the
at
West.
the Magic this year.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The West and the East. That tells you how much the difference of the caliber of the conferences are. It's mind-boggling. I've always said this. Wait till he goes to the West. He will not have the success. He will not, because he cannot carry these teams. These teams are – it's way too hard to beat these caliber of teams by yourself. You need the talent behind you. And that's why he was trying to get, Anthony Davis out here, Paul George. Like, he's trying to get someone out here. It ain't looking well right now.
No, it's not looking well. First and foremost, they need to get a coach out there, and that's something that they are struggling with big time. They wanted to get Tyronn Lue, like we talked about before we ended the first hour. They wanted to get him and bring him in. That was going to be the guy. He was going to come in with LeBron. They were going to go out and get a guy like KD or Kyrie, bring them into L.A. to play with LeBron, and all of a sudden things were going to turn around, and it was going to be great in L.A. again. They were going to be competing for championships.
Yep.
But Tyronn, the talks fell through, and he's like, "Yeah, I think I'm good. I'm good. I'll just stay where I'm at, and things will you'll find somebody. Don't worry, you'll find somebody. I'm sure it's not me or it's not you, it's me. Don't worry." But in fact, it is the Lakers. They are the problem right now. Their front office is the problem. Their front office is a mess.
I mean, Magic got out of there while he could.
Yeah, a lot of people now you look at it, and a lot of people when Magic left, it was like, oh, he just didn't want to do the work.
No,
well, I think Magic saw the writing on the wall and got the hell out.
Well, here's the thing also with Magic Johnson. He loves just helping the game.
Yeah.
He can't go and talk to these other teams like he loves doing.
Yeah.
He'll get fined. That's why he wanted out. He wanted to do what he loves most, and that was just help the game. Go and spread knowledge.
Be an ambassador, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's great. He should not have tried to – I know the Lakers is – like, it's your home. Like, that's who you love. And we all know that. But you don't – I think you have a greater impact on basketball, and you can have a greater impact on the NBA than just the Lakers.
Yeah,
it's true, and I was happy to see him go because I think it helped basketball a lot, and also just the drama that's in the NBA right now. It's like a freaking soap opera.
No, it is,
and it makes me mad. I'm just like look at the. I told this to Davis last week. Look at the slogan for the MLB: "Let the kids play."
Yeah.
Or shut up and play. Can that just be the NBA? Like, please? Like, stop worrying about the refs calls. Just shut up
or
and play.
Or it could be like the NFL. More money, more money, more money. Huh? That's Roger Goodell's slogan, actually.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
Yeah, but as I'm saying, like, the drama in the NBA, it's sickening. Like,
it is.
Like,
yeah.
Why are you you're protesting a team's, the way a team plays. That, I don't even know what to say about
After having a guy like LeBron James for one season with no supporting cast.
Exactly.
That's the crazy thing.
You act like just because they're not doing good, they have an immediate change, and you want to protest that? You think that these other teams are going to care that you're protesting and just let up on the Lakers?
Well, here's another thing. Let's say, okay, they decide to test, and I always said from the get-go, if Luke Walton gets released from his time there in L.A. with the Lakers, that Eric Spoelstra should be a guy they go after because Eric Spoelstra had great success with LeBron James with the Heat, and obviously Dwayne Wade retiring, that could have possibly opened that door for him to maybe come to L.A. But you look at this now, with the crap that's going on with the fan base standing outside Staples Center and protesting. Look, it was a small crowd. The joke was going around on Twitter that it was a bigger crowd at the Staples in L.A. than at the Staples Center for this, but still. You look at it, if you have fans that are willing to go stand outside the arena and protest, if I'm a head coach and you call me for a job, I'm going to look at you and go, you have fans protesting outside your arena and saying that the management is not doing a good job. Why in the heck would I want to leave where I'm at in South Beach or wherever it is and go coach for you?
Yeah. Why would you want to go put yourself in that fire?
Yeah.
That I cannot say because my mother is watching. But why would you want to put yourself in that? Like, who wants to deal with that? I wouldn't. That's for sure. Why would you want to deal with that?
No, you wouldn't want to, and that's why they're struggling. And I guarantee you that's a reason why talks fell through with Tyronn Lue. This front office staff is look. I'm a Lakers fan. I don't hold that back. I've been a Lakers fan through all these miserable seasons.
I have,
and I have sat and I watched this front office staff continue to botch these opportunities they have to sign big-name free agents. They have opportunities to go after these players, and they just don't go after them. They don't bring them in, and they're not doing what they're supposed to do to help this team improve and get better. And they had an opportunity to go get a great coach in Tyronn Lue.
Yep.
They let the talks fall through. It did not get done. The deal did not get done when it should have, and it falls on the front office. It falls on Jeannie Buss. It falls on that management staff for the L.A. Lakers. They're the problem with the Lakers. And it's crazy to say that the Buss family is the problem with the Lakers because of everything that Dr. Buss did for that organization. But the sad truth of it is right now, the Bus family is the problem for the Lakers. I think the best thing for the Lakers is the Bus family to sell the team.
I almost want to see. I want to see Kobe take a jab at it. I want to see Kobe do something with it. I want to see what he can do.
Are you talking as a coach or like a
anything,
GM or something?
Anything.
Yeah.
I just want to see what he can do with this. I'm not saying ask as a coach. Maybe try to take a shot at what Magic tried to do, because
vice president of player personnel,
because
something
both
like that.
very great minds of basketball, but Kobe, they're both very different though. Kobe thinks a lot different.
Kobe's not trying to be the ambassador for the game. He's not talking about talking to Giannis or any other players.
Kobe's a winner. He's a winner. Like he says, he wrote a book, that Mamba Mentality book. Oh my gosh! Like he has a different mindset. And I would like to see if he could transfer what he did as a player, that player mindset that he had that was so successful, got him 5 rings. I would like to see if he could do that as someone in the front office, be able to just change the way that this organization is going, and just see what he could do. Put that Mamba mentality in front office play, like if you see what I'm saying.
No, I see exactly what you're saying, and I actually like that idea.
Yeah, I
like that idea a lot.
It's interesting. Because Kobe Bryant, I've always respected the way he thinks about sports, and the way he's always thought about winning. His competitive drive, it's amazing. I like to see what he could do as a front office manager. I know it probably kill him because he wants to see how it's like. He wants to play out there, but I mean, like look at Michael Jordan. I mean, Michael Jordan, like, he's in Charlotte doing it. Not the best place to do it,
right?
And he could, if Chicago wasn't such a, I feel like they wouldn't let go of it. Just like let one of their old players come in, like the Lakers.
Yeah.
They don't seem like that type of place. They seem like, oh no, it's ours. Like, we're not going to let you get in there because like you just played for us. Even though he is the greatest of all time, I've always wanted to say Kobe is, but let's face it, it's Michael Jordan. I would like to see what Kobe Bryant could do because no one else is doing it right.
Yeah.
I like to see someone who knows how to win. He got 5 rings for this organization. What can he do?
Yeah, well, what do you think out there listening? 972-1945, 972-1945. Here's my only problem with that before we go to break real quick is you've got LeBron James on the team. If Kobe Bryant comes in as vice president of player personnel, is there going to be a clash between those two? That would be the only problem I would have.
Here's the thing. This has always been the dream
pairing.
Yeah, that people have always wanted to see. Now, we've always wanted to see it on the court, of course.
Right, yeah.
You always want to see. Yeah, actually, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see what happens there.
Just bring in Kobe as vice president of player personnel, and then draft Zion.
Wow, I mean.
And then Kobe comes out of retirement, and Golden State is like, crap.
That'd be that. Can that happen?
No, I don't think that it can happen because if Kobe comes out of retirement, Golden State's just gonna go, okay.
Well, I mean, you saw the way he ended it.
I did, yeah. It just
I mean, like he really milked it all out there at that last game. We all know about that 60-point game, but it'd be interesting to see what Kobe Bryant could do just because of his mentality, the Mamba mentality at GM status.
That would be fun to watch. So we may see that might happen. You never know. All right, we're going to take our first time out of the second hour. When we come back, we'll stay in the NBA and we'll take a look at some of the things that are happening inside the postseason. Coming up next, right here on ESPN Pensacola 94.5.
Pensacola Beach isn't just a sun-soaked white sand paradise. It's also the best dance floor in 50 states. Every Tuesday night, the stage near the Beach Mall comes alive with great music you know and love. Bands on the Beach are free shows every Tuesday through October, and they're brought to you by the Santa Rosa Island Authority. This Tuesday, it's Deception, playing all your favorite jazz, classical, oldies, R&B, pop, and country. Join us for live music every Tuesday night at 7 for Bands on the Beach.
Our Pensacola Wahoos are back for another season, and with the new season comes some fresh and new changes. Our Wahoos are now the new AA affiliate of the Minnesota Twins, and they have a new broadcast home here in Pensacola, right here at your hometown station for hometown sports, ESPN Pensacola 94.5. Catch all the Wahoos action from home and away with Chris Garagiola. Wahoos baseball presented by Denny's on the new official flagship station for the Blue Wahoos, ESPN Pensacola 94.5 and ESPNpensacola.com.
Wings are now on Beef O'Brady's 2 for $20 deal. Wings?
Wings.
Pick or bang, same buck. Pick a starter plus 2 entrees. Like 10 of Beef's famous wings, still $20. 2 for $20. Worth every penny.
Tower, this is Alpha Squad. Something smells mighty good up here. Who's hungry? Over.
Beef's 2 for $20. Pick a starter and 2 entrees. Like Beef's new chicken tender Parmesan skillet, still just $20.
If you're hitting 200 at the plate for the Pensacola Blue Wahoos, life isn't that great. But if you're hitting up 200 before the Wahoos games, things can't get much better. 200 South is your Blue Wahoos pre-party destination. Grab an ice-cold draft with the best selection in town at World of Beer. Relax in the most hoppin' spot at Blend Lounge. Or grab a quick bite to eat at Graffiti Pizza or Taco Aguave before the game. 200 South Palafox in downtown Pensacola. Peanuts and Cracker Jacks are all right, but a slice and an ice-cold draft, now that's a home run.
ESPN Radio is taking over ESPN News. You can now watch your favorite radio shows all in one place. From Golic and Wingo.
Oh, yeah.
To the Dan Levitard Show with Stugotz.
All right, I'm available every day. Thanks.
To the Stephen A. Smith Show.
I just don't understand this guy.
To the Will Kane Show.
It's my job to tell the truth.
From morning to night, the best of ESPN Radio is now available on ESPN News.
ESPN Pensacola 94.5. Welcome back into Sports Call. We're right here on ESPN Pensacola 94.5. As I've already said, we're also on your HD radio, HD2 98.7, WYCT, and streaming on our website, ESPNpensacola.com. You want to be a part of today's show, 850-972-1945, 850-972-1945. Let's stay with the NBA now and just get back into it with the postseason talk. Obviously, last night, the big story inside the NBA, Houston eliminated Golden State, advances to the Western Conference Finals. Steph Curry in that game, no points in the first half, but 33 in the second half. Really kind of put the team on his back there. And like we talked about in Love It or Hate It, this is a guy that really is going to have to put the team on his back the entire game.
I was happy to see that he stepped up and came back. But he with these teams that he could be facing in the future, 0 in the first half, you can't have that because it's going to be tough to come back. But I want to throw it over here to the Rockets real quick.
Okay.
The Warriors have eliminated you from the postseason the last 4 of 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Something's got to change.
Well, the owner said last night after the game, we'll get him eventually.
Oh,
eventually?
Yeah.
Eventually. And that was like, if I'm a Rocket fan, I'm going to be like, yeah, we feel great about that. Eventually.
Seems like it.
It's coming.
And then you get eliminated next game. But, it seems like it. Like, you have the talent. You have it. Something's got to change. Like, the frustration's there. I saw a picture of James Harden, just doing this. I was like, that's just got to be the Houston Rockets right now. Like, you cannot get past the Warriors. It's killing you.
And I'm glad you mentioned that because here's the aspect of the whole quote from the Houston Rockets owner. He basically said, they kicked our blinks tonight. They basically outscored us by 10 points in the fourth quarter alone. And that is absolutely true. And then he said, well, we'll just continue to get better and we'll get them eventually. I'm sorry, eventually has not happened because, like you said, they've knocked them out of the playoffs the last 4 or 5 years. Eventually has not happened. Eventually is not going to happen. If eventually was going to happen, it would have eventually happened by now. So my question to you, D'Antoni, the coach.
Yep.
Time to go?
It's tough to see just because here's why. A coach of that caliber, he's got you there that many times, and I've seen
Has he got him there, or has CP3 and James Harden got him?
No, because I've still seen, look, all right, I'm going to throw this over, a little bit of baseball. The Reds, they had Dusty Baker as the manager. Dusty got him to the playoffs every year.
Yeah.
They fired him because he wasn't getting the championships that he had. And they had the talent, they had the caliber. They had Joey Votto, Brandon Phillips, they had Todd Frazier. They had all these great names. They fired him because he wasn't getting them there. Since then, the Reds have not had a single winning season. That's why you shouldn't do it, because you can really kill where you're at.
Yeah.
Try and find it somewhere in a different department. I know everyone just goes to the coach, but try and find it in a different department. It's got to be something else. You're just missing a little piece here. If getting rid of that coach, getting rid of
D'Antoni.
Yeah, getting rid of him, it could really actually kill I think it could kill your franchise.
And I agree. I think the thing that I kind of hold against D'Antoni is that when he was with the Lakers, there wasn't much success there. He's been at Houston, and they've had some success by getting to the playoffs. But again, it is the Dusty Baker. It is the Marvin Lewis factor of getting to the playoffs is great and all, but eventually fans are going to be like, okay, we're getting to the playoffs. Why aren't we winning a championship? And like you said, it does fall on the coach's shoulders once that happens, and he's usually one that suffers. I agree with you. As much as I kind of dislike D'Antoni for the years he was with the Lakers and like the things that happened between he and Kobe, and there's just a rift there, and that kind of was the start of the demise and the decline for the Lakers. I think that he should stay at Houston. I think you look at some of the players that are probably more than likely moving to different teams. You've got guys like Kawhi Leonard not going to be staying in Toronto. I don't think Kyrie Irving's staying in Boston. You've got KD on the move. I mean, why not pair KD back up with James Harden? I don't think it would happen, but I mean, what I'm saying is basically there are superstars out there or big-time players you can bring in and make that team better and compete against Golden State.
Here's why I don't like that. I love a duo. I love a duo. They got that duo. James Harden.
They do.
I love it. A trio is where it just all goes wrong. Look at last year. 2 years ago with the Thunder. Westbrook, Paul George, and Carmelo Anthony.
That's true.
Nothing.
Yeah.
It should have been a super team. They don't go to. Yeah. They weren't making each other better.
Right.
They were trying to go off their own success and just be good. Some people may ask the Warriors. No, they make each other better. They make each other better. If they were gonna play for these other teams, I don't think they'd be the caliber type of players they are. I think they make each other better. That's why I think KD, not Paul George, James Harden and CP3. I think it could hurt you. Cause look at the Thunder. What was it? 8 years ago? Who knows now? James Harden, Westbrook, and KD.
Yeah.
That team wasn't anything crazy special. And you had all those players. All these guys have won. James Harden probably pretty good chance to win MVP this year, I would say. Then you have Westbrook. He's won it a couple times, and KD won it. And all those guys were, future MVP candidates, and they still weren't that good. It's because a trio is just too much, but a duo is good.
And I completely agree with you on that. And the whole point of this is to kind of just break it all down. And, you blame the coach. It's not necessarily the coach. You could say, oh, well, we bring in a superstar. That wouldn't probably work as well, like you said. So where do the Rockets go? How do the Rockets get better?
That's the thing. It's a tough piece to find. I think you shoot yourself in the foot getting rid of I can't say his name. D'Antoni. Right?
D'Antoni, yeah.
Yeah. It's a hard name to say just because it's spelled weird. I think you shoot yourself in the foot, you get rid of him. I really do. I think he's one of the better coaches in the NBA right now. I know a lot of people think Steve Kerr is a great coach, and he is a good coach. But I think when you have those type of players, you're just automatically going to be great.
See, call me crazy. I'm not sold on Steve Kerr. Look, Steve Kerr is a good coach.
Yeah,
I'm not going to say he's not.
I'm with you on it.
But when you have a guy in Luke Walton that steps in and has the success he did at Golden State, and then you turn around and see what he had at L.A. Now, granted, the talent was very different, but that's what I'm getting at. With the talent that Golden State has, I think a decent, an okay head coach is going to be able to have some success with that talent at Golden State. I'm not saying Steve Kerr is not a top NBA coach. Just in my book, I'm not 100% completely sold on him. But I agree with you. I think D'Antoni is a coach that should stick around in Houston. I don't know where Houston's going to get the help that they need, but they need to find it because the fan base doesn't want eventually. They won't right now. And it's nice for the owner to come out and say, well, they kicked their butts, but we're going to work and get better. That's great. Fans are going to want to hear that they're going to work to get better and be back at that point next year. But fans are also going to want to win at that point next year. And saying eventually, that's not really instilling hope inside the fan base.
Yeah, nowhere near. Eventually, that's what that would make that would make me mad if I'm a fan. Eventually, that doesn't sound very reassuring now, does it?
No, not at all. Not at all, one bit. All right, let's move on to some other stuff. We talked about this a little bit in Love It or Hate It, and I kind of mentioned it a moment ago. Do you think Kyrie's in a Boston uniform next year, or do you think he goes elsewhere?
I think he goes elsewhere. I think he needs to find He needs to. He can't do it by himself. a lot of people say that he needs LeBron. No, he doesn't need LeBron. He just needs help. That's all. I know he has Gordon Hayward out there, and he's got some good young players to work with out there too. But they're just not getting it done out there. If you see what I'm saying, I could see him going somewhere like Toronto or Portland.
Yep.
I like Portland.
Yeah,
I would. That's actually really interesting. Seeing him going to Portland.
Kyrie in Portland, or even more so, Kyrie in Toronto. Because if Kyrie's in Toronto, does Kawhi Leonard get tempted to stay then?
Yeah.
I would think so too. I would think so too. Because I mean, you look at it right now, Toronto. And by the way, this is just segue us into the games coming up tomorrow. Toronto getting ready to play a Game 7 against Philadelphia. It's going to get started at 6 o'clock local time on TNT. And before that, at 2:30, we're going to have the Portland Trail Blazers on the road in Denver taking on the Nuggets. Both of those are Game 7s, and we'll decide who goes to the East Conference Final and the West Conference Final to face off against Milwaukee and Golden State. You look at Toronto, if they were to land a guy like Kyrie Irving, I think Kawhi stays, and I think we start seeing a team rise up in the East in the Toronto Raptors.
Well, shoot, I mean, you're already seeing it with them this year right now.
Yeah.
Without him, would they really need it? I don't know. Let's see. I think Toronto goes to the Eastern Conference Finals pretty easily. So I don't know. Portland just really hits me hard for there. I don't know why, but I just like that idea of him and Damian Lillard. Because I don't know, but it just it just seems I like it. I don't know why. It just seems it hits right.
I think it's like that combo you were talking about a while ago. That's a great duo to have on the team.
It's similar to James Harden and CP3, but I honestly think Kyrie Irving is a little bit better of a player than CP3.
That's what I was gonna say. It's like if you took that duo and made it better.
Yeah,
that's what you
would have.
Yeah,
that's exactly what you would have. I mean, because James Harden, he is a great player, but I don't know if he works the best with others. I know Kyrie and Damian Lillard, they know how to spread the ball out really well,
right?
And they both have clutch shot material.
Mm-hmm.
You saw Damian Lillard; he's had two series clinching shots.
Yeah,
and Kyrie, he had the Game 7 finals versus the Warriors, the 3-pointer to go ahead. He had that shot. Coming from a 3-1 comeback as well. Yeah, they both have that type of a clutch ability. And who else? CJ McCollum, right? Also out there.
Yeah.
Exactly. I love it out there in Portland for them. I think it'd be great. I think it'd be good for the city of Portland because they need that. They're almost like the forgotten city, in my opinion.
And there is another team that is a former NBA powerhouse that could use a guy like Kyrie. That's the New York Knicks. Whether they get him or not, I doubt it. That's probably a long shot. I don't see the Knicks really getting him anymore. But I like that Portland idea. I really like that Portland idea.
What you're saying is put KD out there in New York, draft Zion, and get Kyrie out there? I mean,
for the Knicks, that's Knicks fans are listening going,
yeah,
man, I like that.
I like that a lot.
Yeah. Will it happen? Probably not.
No.
But yeah,
it's
not
you
at
got
all.
like a 5% chance of it happening. But you know, you can only dream, New York. You can only dream.
Yep. It's the city that never sleeps, but they do dream a lot about being better at basketball because God, it's just been awful there. Let me ask you this real quick before we go to break, because I know we're actually over the break. Milwaukee, the Bucks.
Yes.
Are they good enough to knock off Golden State if that's the NBA Finals we see this year?
If they don't have KD, absolutely. They have that ability. With KD, it's gonna be a great matchup. But absolutely, I've heard a lot of people say that this is the only team left that can beat the Warriors. And now I'm a little bit iffy on it, but I see it a lot because clearly, I mean, James Harden and CP3 couldn't get it done. Then who can? You know, I mean, Toronto, they have a good shot with it. Denver, no, and Portland. They give them a good battle at the beginning, but they leave them in the end. So yeah, I think the Bucks are the only team that can do it.
All right, well, I'll tell you what, we're going to take a quick timeout. When we come back, more Sports Call coming up next, right here on ESPN Pensacola 94.5.
On today's episode of America's Least Wanted, the home invaders most likely to threaten your family are not human. Cockroaches can spread salmonella and trigger asthma attacks. Termites destroy billions of dollars in property each year, and stinging insects send 500,000 people to emergency rooms. Learn how to protect your family. Arm yourself with the facts at pestworld.org. A public service announcement from the National Pest Management Association.
When working at a growing business, you wear many hats. The new business hat, the buying toner for the copy machine hat, the sifting through tons of resumes hat. You can throw away that last hat thanks to Indeed.com. When posting your job, Indeed lets you add screener questions that give you a less time-consuming route to your short list of qualified candidates. So go ahead, dust off that extra long lunch hat. Hiring's better when you've got your short list. Save time on hiring when you post a job on Indeed. Get started today at Indeed.com/hire.
Hi, I'm Danica Patrick. Watching my nieces grow, play, and learn is amazing, but not every child gets to be carefree. 1 in 6 kids in the U.S. are hungry. This breaks my heart, and it's something that Feeding America is working to change. Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste and gives it to families in need. To help, visit feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
To give batters a different look, pitchers throw a changeup.
Your idea of a different look is sunglasses.
That's true. But La Quinta Inns and Suites is really taking the different look thing to a new level.
Definitely a major league makeover, starting with a bolder, brighter lobby full of comfortable spaces to let you settle in.
Or chill out in front of a big flat screen like Wingo would.
Oh, you know it. It's a changing La Quinta look to help you get in the zone and look sharp when you hit that big meeting.
Prepare to win at business with La Quinta Inns and Suites.
Book now at LQ.com.
Today, my new dad and I shot off a rocket in the park.
Today, my new son and I failed to shoot off a rocket.
He knew exactly what to do.
I had no clue what I was doing.
We set up the rocket.
Hit
ignition.
Hit ignition.
And then
nothing. Ha, 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 ha. Sometimes I laugh when I'm frustrated.
Then out of nowhere, the rocket launched into the air.
The rocket did get into the air.
I've never seen anything fly so high.
And then crashed into a kite.
Look out! Look out!
And then the pond.
I'll never forget that day.
I'll never forget that day, even if I tried.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are. For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Welcome back into Sports Call on ESPN Pensacola 94.5, also on your HD radio at HD2 98.7 WICT, and streaming on our website, ESPNpensacola.com. You want to be a part of the show, 850-972-1945, 850-972-1945. If you're a Florida Gator fan, you might want to get your phone ready because you might have some comments on what we're going to be talking about coming up in just a few minutes. But before we get to that, President Donald Trump made an announcement. Obviously, he was presenting the Commander-in-Chief's trophy to Army over the week on I believe it was on Tuesday is when this happened, and they had a nice ceremony there at the White House in the Rose Garden. And part of what he basically kind of was talking about in the ceremony was that, you know, he wouldn't mind and he would actually be willing to sign off on this and allow this for athletes and military academies to go right into professional sports rather than continuing to serve in the military. Now, the thing about this is this is also a touchy issue here because we're in a military town, so there's some different opinions to this. His Secretary of Defense is actually against this. He says, you know, the whole point of a military academy is to groom future officers for the United States military. I completely understand that, but also at the same time, you know, you got to think, by the time that these guys that are football players that could be prospects for the NFL, they go and serve in the military, when they're done with the military, chances are they're not going to be able to have a career because of their age, and they're probably their skill set's falling off a little bit. So that's it's kind of a toss-up there. And basically what President Trump stated was that he'd be willing to sign a form that would allow them the option of entering the NFL draft, and then they could go and play in the NFL or Major League Baseball or wherever it is, or any professional league, and then they could go and serve in the military. Now, the problem with that, there's problems all over the place with this. The problem with that is that you go play in the NFL for 5-10 years, your body's not going to be in the shape to go through what you're going to need to go through for the military.
Exactly. There's a lot with it's the government and the entertainment industry trying to come together.
And it's something
that's something that it does not go together very well at all. And like you said, there are two different things. Like, yeah, you can be doing these workouts to be that athlete, but when you got to go out, for your country, it's a lot different. It's a lot different. You need a lot more.
In theory, when you hear this, you go, you know what? That's actually not a bad idea. It allows them the opportunity to pursue an NFL career if that's what they really want outside of the military. But at the same time, I don't know of a lot of military athletes that I would actually go into the NFL draft and be drafted. And this was something that we kind of talked about on Talk Football, is that you're talking about a very small number of athletes that would actually be able to leave a military academy and enter the NFL draft and be drafted by an NFL team and have a legitimate shot at playing time. This is not just somebody who wants to play in the NFL going and being on a practice squad. This is for players who want a legitimate chance at being an NFL football player, and that is a very, very, very small number inside the military academy. So this is just one of those things that I think he said, and now it's been a couple of days. It's kind of blown over, and I think people are kind of moving on from it. I don't see this ever happening. It can't happen. There's too many things against it that it can't happen. There's no way this ever gets passed and allowed.
Yeah, I don't see it at all. It just doesn't seem like it's going to happen. It's tough, and you have those dreams, but you can only have one. You can only do one.
Absolutely, you can't be a Blue Angel and a starting quarterback in the NFL at the same time. Just can't happen.
You'd be the overall superhuman. But
I mean, honestly, if I'm picking between the two, I'd rather be a Blue Angel pilot than,
a
quarterback in the NFL.
Because there's so much more quarterbacks, but a Blue Angel pilot.
That's just awesome right there. That is that's really cool. Don't get me wrong, it'd probably be cool being a quarterback in the NFL, but to say, well, what do you do for a living? Oh yeah.
Well, would you rather fly around 200 miles per hour or get ran over?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm pilot number 5 for the Blue Angels. I mean, how cool would that be to say for a job? So
wow.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on to the Florida Gators here, and we talked about the Lakers being a horrible disarray right now. The Gators aren't in horrible disarray, but they've had a rough couple of weeks. We'll start it off. Obviously, Jalen Jones has been alleged with sexual battery. This is a whole situation that had a girl come into his dorm room. They started getting active. We'll leave it at that because we're trying to keep it family friendly here. They started getting active. She was consensual at first. Then later she changed her mind and asked for him to, there's no other way to say this, asked for him to get off of her and leave her alone and let her leave. He refused. He continued. And that is where these allegations are coming from, and also stems from the fact that when he was done there and the girl leaves the room, he then goes out and forces himself on her friend and is trying to make out with her. And they both filed police reports on him. He is no longer with the university. He has announced he is entering the transfer portal, and I think this is a situation where both the university, Dan Mullen, and Jalen Jones all kind of sat down and agreed that parting ways is probably the best thing to do, and we thought that might be it. We thought, okay, that's a one-time thing. It's a tough situation. Jalen Jones, as far as the football player goes, was expected to be the next big quarterback at the University of Florida. That was Dan Mullen's big prize quarterback recruit he had right after Emory Jones. As far as the person for Jalen Jones, you were going to hope that he can get the help that he needs to take care of this situation. But he's no longer with Florida, so that was terrible. But we thought, that's it. Let's move on. Yep. Well, about 3-4 days later, Brian Edwards, the cornerback, assault allegations. Apparently his girlfriend tried to leave their apartment there in Gainesville. He grabbed her by the throat, slung her back into the apartment. When cops were called, they showed up on the scene. She had marks on her neck. She had scratches on her shoulder from the incident. A witness is the person that called the cops, so they actually told the cops what happened. He was Mirandaized. He was given his Miranda rights, refused to speak to the cops. More than likely, he is done at the University of Florida. And now still the big defensive player for them as well, connected to the whole Jalen Jones situation, has announced he's entering the transfer portal because he actually requested to be moved to a different room because he did not want to be Jalen Jones' roommate, did not feel comfortable being Jalen Jones' roommate. They necessarily didn't refuse. That's
he's
the
top recruit, right?
He is. He's their prize
That's the
recruit.
one that we posted on the page, on our Facebook page. That's what made me mad about the whole thing. Is it's like, I think if you're not comfortable being there, and like he's the caliber guy he is, I mean, someone has to do it. But why risk that?
Yeah, here's the thing for me is that I think the thing that kind of makes me look at the way he did that, and there's kind of been some more things that have said the past couple of days about Steele, and look, I'm not going to bring them up on the show because there's no way of knowing if they're true or not without getting something from an inside source, and I'm going to try to work on getting that for next week's show about this whole situation because apparently Dan Mullen contacted him last night trying to get him to stay at the University of Florida, so this is something that's going to go on a little while, but the whole thing about he went and requested for the room transfer.
Yep.
And it's not that they told him, no, suck it up, deal with it. They didn't give him that. They said, look, we can't do anything until the summer. So you're going to have to stick with this guy until the summer. There is more behind the scenes other than just the room transfer to me. I think there are more things that are going to be uncovered, more things that are going to come out. I would not be surprised to find out if Steele wasn't involved somehow with the whole Jalen Jones situation, and maybe he's trying to get away from Florida to get away from having to deal with that. And this is just it's a mess for the Florida football program right now. And, I think the toughest thing about this is this now starts to kind of reflect and become an issue for the team in general. And this is a team that was making strides, was getting better, and starting to really kind of become that Florida football program that Florida football usually is. But now with these things happening, people are starting to question Dan Mullen. Does he have control of things in Gainesville? Did he ever have control of things in Gainesville? And there are a lot of people that are calling, for different things, whether it's, it's getting ridiculous. It's getting messy right now in Gainesville. And all three of these happening, boom, 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 right back behind each other.
That's a hard hit.
It's a hard hit, and it's each one is a hard hit individually, and you put them one right after the other. This Florida program is in a tough spot right now, and they try to pull out of it by making an announcement last week that, hey, we've scheduled 2 Power 5 conference opponents for the future. One of them was being Colorado. That actually made the situation worse because you look at it and you go, really, Colorado? That's the Power 5 team? Because you look at Georgia. Look at Georgia. They're scheduling Clemson. They're scheduling Oklahoma. That's their future opponents.
They're not afraid.
Florida State, right? They're scheduling Florida State, which Florida State's already on Florida's schedule. I understand that. But Colorado's been in one bowl game since 2008.
Yeah.
That's not a good opponent to put on your schedule for Power 5. Now the other one was Texas.
That's a good game. That's a great game.
That's a quality one. The only problem with that is I'm going to have to wait till I'm 39 and 40 years old when those games are played in 2030 and 2031. So they are that far away. They are 11 years away, 11 and 12 years away for those games. So
won't be there anymore, probably.
I don't know. I think.
Well, unless he starts winning championships like Saban. But do we like? Okay, we don't know.
yeah. I mean, it could possibly happen, but I don't know. But I think Dan Mullen could possibly still be there. I'm not a fan of scheduling these games so far out. And you look at these, and it's going across college football in general. It's not just with the Florida Texas or the Florida Colorado. We're not going to see Georgia Clemson until 2028, something like that. And same for Georgia Oklahoma and Clemson. I believe Clemson and Oklahoma have made a pairing together. Alabama's got a couple out there. They're not until like 2027, 2028, 2029. Why are you scheduling these so far in advance? You're telling me the 2023, 2024 schedules are already booked in full and made up? Do they make them that far in advance? Because if so, go ahead and release them.
Not conference games,
right?
But they do make those. They can make those as early as they want, pretty much.
But see, you've got to be able to look at this and go, you know what? If we've got San Jose State Tech Community College on our schedule for a cupcake game, but we have an opportunity to kind of rework things and maybe have a Power 5 school, pay off the school that you're going to come to your stadium and beat by 60, 70 points, pay them off what they want, schedule a Power 5 school, and let's have good competitive games. That's what this boils down to. Good competitive games. And I'm sorry, I'm a little stingy. I don't want to wait 12 years for that. I want it now.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, the college football playoffs have given us great matchups. Alabama, Georgia, Oklahoma, Georgia, Alabama, Clemson. I mean, they've given us great games.
We have a better chance of seeing these two teams face off in the playoffs before that even happens.
We do. Yeah, we could very well see Alabama or Florida, Texas this year in a New Year's Six
exactly.
game.
It is a great chance. There was a great chance last year too. If they had just been ranked one spot difference, there's a very, very high chance that it could happen.
That would have been a whole lot better matchup than Florida, Michigan,
and Georgia, Texas.
Yeah, and Georgia-Texas. Georgia-Texas was one of those games. I think that caught a lot of people by surprise. They kind of looked at that and said, you know what, Georgia's going to be pissed off playing in this game because they felt they should have been a college football playoff team, despite losing to Alabama in the SEC championship game for their second loss or for their first loss and all that stuff. But they go in there and they just, I think Texas exposed some stuff this year. I honestly think Georgia's probably going to have a little bit of a down year this year because of some of the things that I think Texas exposed, and I think teams like Florida, teams like Auburn, they're going to be able to take advantage of that because they have the talent to do so.
Yeah, I agree. Georgia. Now they know how to coach Alabama. That's the thing. They know how to coach against Alabama, which is which is very good. But I mean, I don't know. It's tough. You still have Jake Fromm coming back, so that's going to be good. That's a positive for them, but it's still tough.
Yeah, and we'll just see. I mean, look, there's still a lot left to go before the season comes up and before the season happens. Still, 100 days, 99 days, something like that until that Florida-Miami game to start it off. So we'll see what happens. But we'll take a quick timeout. It's our final timeout. We'll come back, wrap things up, take a look at the Blue Wahoos, tell you what you can expect for their game tonight, when the next time they'll be at the Blue Wahoo Stadium. Coming up next right here on Sports Call on ESPN Pensacola 94.5.
Wings are now on Beef O'Brady's 2 for $20 deal. Wings?
Wings. Pick or bang, same buck. Pick a starter plus 2 entrees. Like 10 of Beef's famous wings, still $20. 2 for $20. Worth every penny.
Tower, this is Alpha Squad. Something smells mighty good up here. Who's hungry? Over.
Beef's 2 for $20. Pick a starter and 2 entrees. Like Beef's new chicken tender Parmesan skillet, still just $20.
ESPN Radio is taking over ESPN News. You can now watch your favorite radio shows all in one place. From Golic and Wingo.
Oh, yeah.
To the Dan Levitard Show with Stugotz.
All right, I'm available every day, thanks.
To the Stephen A. Smith Show.
I just don't understand this guy.
To the Will Kane Show.
It's my job to tell the truth.
From morning to night, the best of ESPN Radio is now available on ESPN News.
Hear ye, hear ye. I bringeth thee a message from... a message from the king and his new trumpeter, Stephen. The king wishes me to convey his favor to thine team and thine tailgate. Not yet. He invites thee to let the Bud Light flow forth. And he also wishes me to tell thee that he toasts thee. Waiteth until the end, Stephen! With game day's favorite light lager and the slogan of his kingdom... Oh! Dilly Dilly!
Enjoy responsibly. Bud Light Beer, AB, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hi, I'm Matt Kenseth. You don't have to be a race car driver to know that life can be full of drama. Some of it you can't control, like mechanical issues, high winds, and rain delays. But there's some drama you can skip.
Skip the drama that comes with not having your high school diploma or equivalency. Find free adult education classes near you and finish your diploma. Visit finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org.
You just need to take that first step and find free classes near you and leave the drama for the racetrack.
Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ed Council.
I wish that I could fly into the
All
sky.
right, little Lenny Kravitz on this Saturday here. Welcome back into Sports Call. 850-972-1945 if you want to be a part of the show. 850-972-1945. I am Jordan Glass, joined alongside me as always our producer Justin, and we are having fun here. Normally we got Davis Allen in studio with us as well, but he's out of town, so unable to be here. We've got a football sitting in his chair.
Yeah,
in
football.
his place.
This is Davis
and
today.
we will looks more like Hey Arnold. But
Who's it signed by the way?
it is signed by Fred Robbins, actually. So, Chad Berlante, the host of the Sports Drive, was part of an event that involved him walking on the catwalk. Fred was in the audience. He stopped on the catwalk next to Fred.
Oh, yes. I remember seeing the video.
Gave him the football, yeah.
Yep, stopped right on the catwalk, said, hey, can you sign this for me?
And that one up there, just for our viewers at home, that one on top right there, that Verizon one, is actually Derek Brooks' So we've got Fred Robbins and Derek Brooks, both Pensacola natives and both great NFL players represented here inside the studio, and obviously with the helmets and some of the footballs and stuff you see here in these shots. Obviously, Kay Stevens, who is Coach K from Talk Football, I do with him noon to 1 every Monday through Friday right here on ESPN Pensacola 945. He's represented in the studio as well. Let's get to some local stuff. We're talking about Coach K. We're talking about Fred Robbins. We're talking about Derek Brooks, all from this area. Let's talk about a little Blue Wahoo baseball because the Blue Wahoos, we talked about them in a little last hour. They win the series 3-2 over the Mississippi Braves, but they did lose last night. Unfortunately, I think 4-3 was the final score of that game. It was a relatively close score. They're now going to be on the road for 5 games against Chattanooga before they come back home. And then they'll be back home May 16th taking on the Mobile Bay Bears for a 5-game series at Blue Wahoo Stadium. 5 weeks left until the All-Star game. Still have yet to lose the series this season. I'm going to go out on a limb and say not only did they clinch the first half championship with ease, because right now they do have a sizable lead there in the South Division. Not only do they clinch it with ease, but I'm going to say this whole not losing a series streak continues through the first half. I don't think they lose a series through the first half of the season.
Yeah, I mean, you have a good shot at it.
Yeah.
I mean, but there's always, if something just goes wrong, it's one of those things where it's got a low % chance of happening.
But you're telling me there's still a chance.
Oh, there's always a chance for that. There's a great chance for it, especially with 5 weeks left in the season. There's a great chance for it.
And again, you take a look at this team. The way they've played so far this year has been absolutely phenomenal. They are a team they're hitting the cover off the ball, but then even when they're not hitting the ball well, their pitching steps
yeah, their
up
pitching.
and does
They have
a
a
fantastic
phenomenal
job.
pitching staff. I love their pitching staff. I know they lost one of their starters here a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
I forgot the name of it. I can't remember his name right now. But I know they had Miguel Sano here a couple last week.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
Splash down in left field.
Yeah, that was awesome. I love seeing that.
But yeah, I think this Blue Wahoo team is exciting to watch play. And again, they're what are they now? 22-10, 23-11, I believe, on the year. So they're just going to continue to get better and continue to play really good baseball, really, really good baseball. Somebody else that's playing really good baseball, UWF. We mentioned them a moment ago. They're going to be May 16th, ironically enough, the same date that Blue Wahoos will be back home for that series against Mobile. UWF will be getting started in the Division II NCAA baseball tournament. Still no word yet on their opponent as of yet, but they will be playing May 16th. We do know that in the South region. Staying in the South region for the NCAA tournament this time for softball, UWF is actually the #1 seed in that NCAA tournament, and they lost to Tampa yesterday, but they beat Valdosta State in comeback fashion 4-3, and were able to force their way into that championship, that regional deciding series against Tampa. Tampa wins 1, they move on. UWF is eliminated. UWF needs to win 2 to move on to the Super Regionals. So we'll be cheering them on, and I believe they actually will be taking on Tampa later on this afternoon at the UWF softball complex. So if you're looking for something to do, I know it's rainy outside, so it might affect it as far as the weather goes, but if you're looking for something to do, go over there and cheer on the Lady Argos as they take to the field against Tampa tonight.
Yep. I mean, always support your Argos. Always support UWF. They're playing great ball right now, both sports. Why not go out there and support them? Just go out there and support them. Like, that's your Lady Argos. That's your local college.
Yeah.
Do it. Yep.
All right, and then let's talk a little prep baseball, because we talked about this a little bit in the first hour as well. Navarre knocking off Niceville. You have Escambia over Pace, Pine Forest over Tate. Those are teams that are usually powers in this area that aren't going to be in the postseason anymore because of their losses. And now it opens up the door for teams like Escambia, Pine Forest, and Navarre to step in and win a championship. It gives a chance for new blood to win a championship, and I think that's needed every now and then.
Yeah, it's needed every now and then. Like, we love seeing it, but I think, speaking beyond my half, and this is something I was very frustrated with not making regionals, because every time that we have, Tate has always been the team that takes us out. So that's why we were frustrated. That's why I was frustrated with it. Tate always has been the team that takes us out. And when we heard, like, they got eliminated the day after we got eliminated, so we were very frustrated and we were mad because knowing that they were gone now, we knew we could do a lot. We could have done a lot. And so seeing this though, I speak beyond all of the area baseball teams. Seeing Tate not be here this year, we all like it. We all like it because it's new for us. So yeah.
And again, new is never a bad thing, and it's always nice to see, like I said, fresh blood get an opportunity. And I think that's why a lot of people, you look at the NBA championship or the NBA playoffs this year, the postseason. You look at Milwaukee. Milwaukee, that's a team that is fairly new to the postseason, let alone the possibility of getting to the NBA Finals. And if they do match up against Golden State, that's going to be a heck of a series. That's going to be a great series, and between two teams that I agree with you. I think if KD does not play for Golden State, Milwaukee has a great opportunity. If Milwaukee won the NBA title, that city would go insane because it's been a minute. It's been a
hot minute.
Yeah,
a hot minute. And the Brewers are doing good too, by the way. I like to see what they're doing. But yeah, with Milwaukee, it's finally no more Cleveland, Golden State. Thank the Lord for that. I'm happy to see that. I'm happy about it. I want to see Milwaukee do something good this year.
All right, yeah, and and look, it's going to be a lot of fun, and I hope that's a series that we have, and that it's something that I would like to see. Milwaukee, Golden State, I think that could be a viable series. Now, obviously, you still have Philadelphia and Toronto. They're going to be playing tomorrow night for that Game 7 of that series. So we'll see what happens then. We'll be back next week to talk about it. That song means that is all the time we have for on today's show. Thank you so much for tuning in. Davis, Allen, again, not with us here on today's show. So for Davis, for Justin, I'm Jordan Glass. You guys have a great Saturday. We'll talk to you again next Saturday. Davis will be back in studio with us then for Sports Call right here on ESPN Pensacola 94.5. You guys, again, have a great weekend. Thank you so much for listening.
All sports, all the time. ESPN Pensacola, 94.5 WYCT Pensacola.
Who moved the needle? That's made one hell of an argument.